Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 14 NFL slate for this Sunday. I'm going to talk through some three plays specifically that I do like for the Sunday slate. That's what we're mainly going to focus on, just kind of the early afternoon and the late afternoon games. Not really going to talk about Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. I try and save those games kind of for separate videos. If I do decide to play anything in those games, I usually will make a video for that, but focusing on the Sunday slate, I have three plays I want to share with you guys. I'm making this video on Friday night, and I got three picks to give you guys for Sunday. So before we talk through the three plays I like for this week, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new and you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, make sure to sign up with my promo code Noah. Use that promo code when you sign up, or just click the link in the description and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And this is the last time that I'll mention this, but as you can see on the screen right now, Prizepicks, they have a promo going. They have Justin Herbert's passing yards set at 0.5. This is a free pick that Prizepicks is giving you. As long as you find any other pick you like to pair with this, you can potentially triple up your money. So if you want to take one of the three picks I give out in this video, pair that with the Herbert free square, you can put up to $20 on it. If you put $20 on it and the pick I give out, hits, you'll get $60. Easy as that, because obviously Herbert's going to go over 0.5 passing yards. But you can take all three of the picks I give out in this video, pair that with the Herbert free square if you would like. This is available until Sunday Night Football starts, so you do have until Sunday Night Football to get this in. But definitely take advantage of this promo, guys. If you have not used this Herbert free square, you definitely need to get it in, but before the game starts on Sunday night. And if you guys are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you want to take advantage of these promos when Prizepicks runs them. They run them quite often. They ran a free square promo like literally a week or two ago for the Thanksgiving Day NFL games. They're running another free square promo, and I said earlier in some previous videos, I bet you in a week or two for the Christmas NBA games, Prizepicks is probably going to have some promos for the for that Christmas Day slate too. So you guys definitely need to be playing on Prizepicks. Use that promo code Noah when you sign up. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's talk through the three picks that I like for this week, guys. We got a reception prop, we got a passing touchdowns prop, and we have a pass attempts prop. So we got a little bit of some different categories that I really don't dabble in too often, but there's three plays that really stood out this week. And the reception prop that I like, we want to talk about. I want to talk about T.J. Hawkinson. So his reception prop is set at 4.5 right now on Prizepicks. I bet you this will be bumped sometime. I don't know when. Sometimes on the weekend, Prizepicks is a little bit slower to adjust their lines. I almost guarantee you by Sunday this will be bumped to 5. I do like the over here quite a bit. So you look at the 5 games T.J. Hawkinson has played with the Vikings. Since he got traded from Detroit to the Vikings, he's played 5 games with Minnesota, gone over this line in 4 out of 5 games. He's had at least 5 receptions in 4 out of 5 games with Minnesota. Last week against the Jets, he only had 4 receptions. For one, the reason I really like this prop is if you look at the odds on this play on DraftKings Sportsbook, right now this is currently minus 175 on the over. So very, very heavy juice coming in on the over, 4.5 receptions for Hawkinson, which is the main reason I think this will get bumped to 5 at some point. But you look at Hawkinson's role that he's had so far this year with Minnesota in the 5 games he's played, he's had a great role as a tight end. He's playing a ton of snaps, 91%, 93%, 77%, 80%, 90% of the snaps. So he's basically going to play 80, 90% of the snaps. The week where he played 77%, that was the week that they got blown out by the Cowboys, and he didn't really play much in the fourth quarter. In competitive games, which obviously this game should be competitive, Hawkins is going to play like almost every single snap. He's going to be out there running routes, and he's been earning a lot of targets. He's had 40 targets through those 5 games with Minnesota, so he's averaging 8 targets per game, and he's had 30 receptions, so he's averaging 6 receptions per game with the Vikings. This game looks to be one of the best games on the Sunday slate. Only the Chargers and Dolphins game, only that game has a higher total than this one. This Vikings-Lions game has a 51.5 total, 2-point spread. This is a game that's going to be played indoors, so you don't really have to worry about weather or anything like that. That's always beneficial. You usually see a lot of the higher scoring games sometimes will be played indoors. So I think it's a really good game environment. I think this game could turn into a shootout, given the great odds that we're getting on this play, given how well T.J. Hawkinson's played with Minnesota. Plus, you factor in as well, it's a revenge game for him facing his former team. I think Hawkinson has a really good chance to come away with at least 5 receptions this week. So, like that is our first play for this slate. And then for the next play, I want to talk about a passing touchdown prop. Jared Goff, 1.5 passing touchdowns. Give me the over here as well. When I was debating, looking at some of Goff's props, I was debating taking like fantasy score, taking passing touchdowns. So Jared Goff has gone over he's had 2 passing touchdowns in 7 games this season. There's been 1 game where he went over his passing touchdowns but didn't go over his fantasy score. That was the other prop that I was kind of liking, was his fantasy score, and it's at 16 right now. There's been 1 game where he went over passing touchdowns but not fantasy score, and there's been 1 game where he went over fantasy score but not passing touchdowns. So I did want to pull up his game log just to let you guys know. But there was 1 game against Green Bay this season where Jared Goff did have 2 passing touchdowns. So he had 137 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He had 1 interception. He only had 12.38 fantasy points in that game. So he went under fantasy score but went over passing touchdowns. And then recently against Miami, or in the middle part of the season against Miami, he threw for 321 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown, but he had 18.14 fantasy points in that game. So there's definitely a scenario where Jared Goff has like a big passing game. He throws for like 300 plus yards, but only throws for 1 touchdown and still goes over his fantasy score. So like I was debating between passing touchdowns and fantasy score, but I think I'm going to side with passing touchdowns. I think this is the better play overall. Right now, the odds on this play are also very good. You look at DraftKings Sportsbook, the over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Jared Goff. It's currently minus 150, so it's heavily juiced on the over. Usually Prizepicks, they're not going to bump passing touchdown props. So if anything, if Prizepicks does decide to just take this off the board, I guess they could do that. They're not going to bump it to 2. They're just going to take it off the board if they do. So if this play does somehow get taken off the board, I think you could just take over 16 fantasy score. I think that would be fine as well. Have a good feeling that if Goff throws 2 touchdowns, he's probably also getting 16 fantasy points. But there's definitely scenarios where he does throw 2 touchdowns, doesn't get fantasy. There's also scenarios where he gets fantasy but not touchdown. So it's kind of just pick your favorite. I side with the passing touchdowns though. The odds are really good on this play. Goff, again, he's had 7 games this season where he's thrown 2 passing touchdowns. And I do want to mention that of those 7 games, all of them were at home. Or excuse me, he's had 6 games. So he's had 6 games this season. Let me just confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's had 6 games this season, where he's thrown 2 passing touchdowns. All those games were at home. Of the 7 home games he's played this season, 6 of the 7 home games he's played, he's had 2 passing touchdowns. For some reason, Jared Goff just plays way better at home, and it kind of makes sense because Detroit, their stadium, it's a dome, so you don't really have to worry about weather. I know Goff is someone that has said like he struggles to play like in games that have bad weather. So like when he has to go on the road to face like some other teams like the Bears, he didn't have the best game, only threw 1 touchdown. Had to go on the road to face the Giants, didn't have the best game. When he's played at home this year, I mean, he's played really well, and he's thrown 2 touchdowns in 6 out of 7 home games. Home road splits in NFL, do they really matter? Probably not. But it's been so far this season, it's been pretty clear that Goff just plays way better, at home. So I think 2 passing touchdowns is definitely something he can reach here, and what should be a pretty high scoring game, definitely one of the better game environments overall of all the Sunday games this week. So that's the second play that I like for this week, and then the third and final play is going to be a pass attempts prop. So I want to talk about Brock Purdy. His pass attempts right now is set at 29.5. I also like the over here, and you look at the odds on DraftKings Sportsbook for this play. So all 3 of these plays, like if you're into plus EV betting, all 3 of these plays have really, really good odds right now. So on DraftKings Sportsbook, Brock Purdy's pass attempts prop is currently set at 30.5, and it's juiced with minus 130 on the over. So given those odds, this line on Prizepicks should be 30.5, if not like 31, 32.5, or not 32.5, but like 31 or 31.5. For example, Tom Brady, his pass attempts prop is set at 36.5 with minus 130 on the over on DraftKings Sportsbook. Well, Prizepicks has his pass attempts prop at 37.5. This line should probably be 31, 31.5. So we're getting some really good value on this play. You look Purdy last week, he did have 37 pass attempts against Miami, and that was a game that, the 49ers easily won. Also, it's worth noting that, Brock Purdy did not play the entire game. Jimmy Garoppolo got injured last week. He got injured after like their first drive. I think Garoppolo played like 10 snaps before getting injured last week. He played 8 snaps, on their opening drive, and then, got injured. So Purdy, he pretty much played the entire game, but he didn't play like the first drive. Still had 37 pass attempts though, and like I said, that was a game where they were playing with a big lead. Like it wasn't like they were trailing and just had to throw to catch up. They were playing with the lead the whole game, and Purdy, they just let him go out there and throw. He had 25 completions, 37 pass attempts, 210 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and they won that game 33-17. This game against Tampa Bay right now does have a 3.5 point spread, so it should be a relatively competitive game. Doesn't have a very high total, only a 37 total here, so this is probably going to be kind of a lower scoring game. It's probably going to be like maybe a defensive battle. But given how much they let Purdy throw last week and how good he looked, now you add in a week of practice to prepare for this game, I think we could see Brock Purdy, throw the ball 35, 36, 37 times once again. And just given the odds on this play on DraftKings Sportsbook, that's what makes me really like this. These pass attempts props, it's really hard to give like a ton of analysis on these, but anytime they have really good odds, I usually like to play them. And I think another positive for Brock Purdy is that the 49ers, they do have Christian McCaffrey now, but they're without Eli Mitchell, and I don't know if they really want to run the ball a ton with Christian McCaffrey. Like, I don't know if they want to overwork McCaffrey, because like if you look at McCaffrey's rushing attempts prop on DK Sportsbook, it's at 13.5. So McCaffrey's only projected to get like 13, 14 carries. And Jordan Mason last week, he's the backup running back. He barely played any snaps. He played like 18% of the snaps last week. I want to pull up his snap share real quick just to confirm that. So yeah, he played 15 snaps. Jordan Mason did. He played 18% of the snaps. McCaffrey played 82% of the snaps. McCaffrey's going to be on the field a ton, but like I don't know if they want to give Christian McCaffrey like 25 carries. I just don't know if they want to like put that much of a beating on him. Plus Tampa Bay, like they've historically kind of been a good team against the run. So far this season Tampa Bay like hasn't been as stout against the run this season, but I think Brock Purdy's going to throw the ball 30 plus times. I think the odds on this play just make it so appealing. And you look at the fact that he threw the ball 37 times last week in a game where they were playing with a big lead. That makes me feel somewhat confident they're comfortable with Brock Purdy dropping back. If Purdy only threw the ball like 15, 20 times and they just kept running it over and over, I would be a little bit worried about this. But the fact that they were comfortable letting Purdy drop back and throw the ball that much makes me feel somewhat confident that he can get 30 plus pass attempts here. But the odds is obviously what make this prop so appealing. This line on Prizepicks should not be 29.5. It probably should be 30.5, 31, maybe even 31.5. We're getting some really good value here. So these are the three plays I like for this NFL slate on Sunday, guys, for Week 14. Little 3-pick entry. If you guys want to pair this with the Justin Herbert free square, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that is available all the way up until Sunday night, so you have plenty of time to get that in. You want to use that, max it out. It's a $20 limit, so you can put $20 on this entry, or you can split it up. You can make like a couple different $5 entries. You can make a couple a couple $10 entries. It's just a max of $20 total you can have on that Herbert free square. But if you guys are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get signed up over there. Use promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But I do wish you guys the best of luck on the slate. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. Hope you guys all win some money this week. Wish you guys the best of luck. We will see you in the next video. Peace.